The only purpose for which power can be rightfully exercised over any member of a civilized community against his will is to prevent harm to others. His own good, either physical or moral, is not sufficient warrant. So long as we do not harm others, we should be free to think, speak, act, and live as we see fit, without molestation from individuals, law, or government. Although it is not true that all conservatives are stupid people, it is true that most stupid people are conservative. If all mankind, minus one, were of one opinion, mankind would be no more justified in silencing that one person than he, if he had the power, would be justified in silencing mankind. Liberty lies in the rights of that person whose views you find most odious. There is always hope when people are forced to listen to both sides. In the long run, the best proof of a good character is good actions. How can great minds be produced in a country where the test of great minds is agreeing in the opinion of small minds? I have learned to seek my happiness by limiting my desires rather than in attempting to satisfy them. War is an ugly thing, but not the ugliest of things. The decayed and degraded state of moral and patriotic feeling which thinks that nothing is worth war is much worse. No great improvements in the lot of mankind are possible until a great change takes place in the fundamental constitution of their modes of thought. There is an imaginary circle drawn around every human being over which no government should be able to step. To tax the larger incomes at a higher percentage than the smaller is to lay a tax on industry and economy, to impose a penalty on people for having worked harder and saved more than their neighbors. When one's ideas are not challenged, one's ability to defend them weakens. Genius can only breathe freely in an atmosphere of freedom. To bring a child into existence without a fair prospect of being able, not only to provide food for its body, but instruction and training for its mind is a moral crime, both against the unfortunate offspring and against society. A man who has nothing for which he is willing to fight, nothing which is more important than his own personal safety, is a miserable creature and has no chance of being free unless made and kept so by the exertions of better men than himself. The only freedom which deserves the name is that of pursuing our own good in our own way, so long as we do not attempt to deprive others of theirs, or impede their efforts to obtain it. The worth of the state in the long run is the worth of the individuals composing it. The object of universities is not to make skillful lawyers, physicians, or engineers. It is to make capable and cultivated human beings. The liberty of the individual must be thus far limited. He must not make himself a nuisance to other people. Whatever crushes individuality is despotism. Bad men need nothing more to compass their ends than that good men should look on and do nothing. In all intellectual debates, both sides tend to be correct in what they affirm and wrong in what they deny. Let not anyone pacify his conscience by the delusion that he can do no harm if he takes no part and forms no opinion. Bad men need nothing more to compass their ends than that good men should look on and do nothing. There are many truths of which the full meaning cannot be realized until personal experience has brought it home. All ideas need to be heard, because each idea contains one aspect of the truth. By examining that aspect, we add to our own idea of the truth. Even ideas that have no truth in them whatsoever are useful because by disproving them, we add support to our own ideas. Originality is the one thing which an original mind cannot feel the use of. In this age, the man who dares to think for himself and to act independently does a service to his race. No great improvements in the lot of mankind are possible until a great change takes place in the fundamental constitution of their modes of thought. The pupil who is never required to do what he cannot do never does what he can do. All silencing of discussion is an assumption of infallibility. The love of power and the love of liberty are an eternal antagonism. The idea that truth always triumphs over persecution is one of those pleasant falsehoods which most experience refutes. History is teeming with instances of truth put down by persecution. If not put down forever, it may be set back for centuries. One person with a belief is equal to 99 who have only interests. All good things which exist are the fruits of originality. Genius can only breathe freely in an atmosphere of freedom. A profound conviction raises a man above the feeling of ridicule. Every great movement must experience three stages: ridicule, discussion, adoption. The struggle between liberty and authority is the most conspicuous feature in the portions of history with which we are earliest familiar, particularly in that of Greece, Rome, and England.